There are business leaders out there who achieve what they want. And there are all the others. Leading is a discipline, an art, not a talent. You can learn it, you can even master it. Make sure you get what you want. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever and wherever you listen to the Live It, Lead It podcast. Today I extend to the last episode. The last episode was the question of success or happiness, which comes first. And my statement was that you got to be happy to be successful, not the other way around. And we were talking behind the scenes a little bit about this. Doesn't that, or do I require a psychologist to become happy? And accidentally, we have a psychologist here in the studio. Hi, Musab.
Hey, how are you?
So let me ask this professional question to you.
Yeah.
I don't want to have this reference again.
Yeah.
So here is the bankrupt Bob.
Yeah.
And he wants to be happy because he was accidentally listening to this podcast and it just make a bell in him. So do I need to go to you or your colleagues?
I think that's a good question. I think as a psychologist, your goal is to help people to achieve their goals. Usually these goals are based on issues that they have. I think, even forgetting psychology for a minute, I think as an individual that's trying to better themselves and trying to improve, I think you should make use of every available tool. So we spoke about being able to change your mindset with a thought, but human beings especially our brains are like machines. So they get very used to doing things a certain way. So for 20 or 30 or 40 years, you've been thinking and having almost like a negative mindset or an excuse mindset. It's very hard to shift that overnight. I think seeing a psychologist could help because they would be able to give you different mechanisms on how to cope with procrastination, how to avoid cognitive dissonance, how to avoid making excuses, and help you achieve your goals. I think it's a really big part of improving yourself, dealing with the past. I also think, though, that as a psychologist, we're taught to look at the data from beforehand. What happened to you before, how you grew up, where you moved, your life experiences and how they shape you. But there's only so much you can do by looking at the past. At a certain point, you need to be able to make that next step, make that step into the future. And that's when I think you can also add something else to your plate, which would be coaching. I think coaching and being coached, having an individualized plan to achieve your goals is very, very important. Almost as important as having those coping mechanisms to deal with your things in the past. So we speak a lot about coaching on this show. And why do you think coaching can play such a significant part in improving somebody?
Let's get away a little bit from bankrupt Bob and his brother Redneck Bob.
Yeah.
If we talk about, this podcast is from leaders for leaders, and this is for leaders who want to improve. Nobody who doesn't want to improve even knows that podcast exists. Podcast is the media for people who want to grow.
Yeah.
And let's stay with these people. I think psychologist, as you said, looks into the past, tries to repair your thoughts in a way, and repair is a stupid word for this, but tries to readjust your thoughts a little bit,
yeah,
which you have. Some trainer told me once, it's never too late for a good childhood, because the childhood is gone.
Yeah.
And you can either focus yourself on your evil uncle, or you can focus yourself on the nice Christmas parties. And the result is either a nice person or, this frustrated wreck who's just telling everybody who shit the world is.
Yeah.
So this is all quite a decision. I've heard something lately in another podcast, and this guy said, your goals are independent from your current position or situation.
Mm-hmm.
Your goals are independent from your current situation. So it's not true when you say, okay, the goal I want to make, let's put very, very flat examples on the table. I want to make 1 million in next year.
Yeah.
That you only can make this goal when you already make 750.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is stupid. Even if you have nothing, you can put on the plate the goal. Okay, next year I'm going to make 1 million, and I then create a smart plan. Blah blah blah. So
yeah,
it all starts with the decision. So psychologists I don't know, and maybe listener, you should write us a little on this. Olaf@liveitleadit.com is the address, or you find everything on liveitleadit.com. I feel that the word psychologist has a little bit the idea of repairing, of medicine, of something is not right with you, of bringing you back in line, something like that.
There's a negative stigma. Almost you're not normal or something.
Yeah. I think this has it a little. So turn this around and going to your question. Coaching is, I think, the stuff that is extremely powerful for everybody who's listening here.
Yeah.
And there is one problem with coaching and with training. The problem is the stone in the shoe. What?
Yeah.
So when you walk, nobody feels the feet. And now that I mention it, you feel your feet. But nobody feels the feet and nobody feels the shoes because it works.
Yeah.
We don't feel the shoe, we don't feel the foot, we feel the stone which fell in the shoe. This is the point when people go to psychologists, psychiatrists, or go to repair shop.
Yeah.
Because then there is something. So we are not stopping to looking at our shoes and think and say, wow, nice shoes. I ran 10 miles and nothing hurts. This is so cool. Who does that? Nobody does it, sadly enough. We stop immediately when something hurts. So there is this connection of something hurts. I had this problem. I messed up this presentation. And then people run to a trainer or to some repair institutions.
Yeah.
People who are listening to this show, I would say it's quite likely that they never had such a thing. The career is working, whatever tasks they do work. They aim a little bit higher than they could do, and it just kind of works, and they listen to the right podcast shows and all of these things. They switched off the media and so it works. They may not feel they don't feel a stone in the shoe, so that means they have no clue that they still only run on 5%.
Yeah.
Or on 10%. And sure, I know you listener, you are the exception, you run on 50%. I've seen it often and often and often that I'm engaged by successful leaders, and we talk about big 6-digit incomes, if this is a measure of success. They are good on the line. They have this one problem, and they call me to help them with this one problem. And we get from this problem, which is usually not the problem. This is just, a symptom. And then 3, 4, 5, 10 questions later, we are at the real problem. Then we work on the real problem. Then things really speed up. Boom. So a coach, to take your example from the beginning, a coach looks into the future.
Yes.
Coach doesn't work with your childhood. Yeah. Coach works with your goals, or sure, he helps you with creating some goals. And coach looks forward. Coach is only for the people who understand I can have better shoes.
Yeah.
It doesn't work for people who believe that their old military boots, where they were running with the last 10 kilometers, this is the last shoe that mankind ever invented. No.
Yeah.
They have no clue that Nike created the Air things, 30 years from now.
Yeah.
So, this example breaks a bit, but I think it helps. If you are okay with yourself, you will never need a coach.
Yes.
The people who are listening to this show, I believe, are open enough to understand, okay, I'm good and I can be better. Perfection is never to be achieved. I think we made an episode out of this.
Yes.
So the The difference between the two of them, from my point of view, is that the coach goes for the future. The coach improves, whereas the psychologist usually tries to repair something from the past and gets the bloody stone out of the shoe.
Yes.
But he's not selling Nike Airs rather than military boots. My goodness. And I hope you listener just listen to the last 5 minutes carefully, because otherwise that last sentence didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the same question to you, listener. How does the word coach ring with you? How does this sound? Is this something that you say, yeah, coach is something that I want? Even something that I have? Or is this something that is, I have no clue what a coach is. Yeah. Okay, fair point. Or is this what's your how does the word ring with you? I mean, this would be curious for us, or interesting for us to know this. When it comes to improvement, let me give this another turn. There are trainers out there, and coaches. And I believe when you translate the words, at least when you translate them into German, they are the same. But let's stick to the words trainer and coaches. Where's the difference? To me, a trainer or a training course or something like that is exactly that. It's a course that drives you from A to B. Training that I know is you have this curriculum, you have this starting point, you have 12 people in a room, and you have this trainer training until everybody is got from point A to point B. And you can replace the room with a Zoom session. I don't care. I know all of these things. So this is to me a trainer. It's quite standard, and it's usually one to many. The coach works on a complete different battlefield. Coach usually is one-to-one. You come with a thought, and you should open your mind, because maybe what you think the problem is not the problem. Usually it's not. And then that's the reason why the coaches are so effective, because coach works with you, with your problem, individual, no matter what comes. Even it can happen that the coach says, dude, I think we're at something where I can't help you anymore.
Yeah.
Let me make some phone calls. I find an expert who just helps you in this direction.
So it's more personalized than a trainer that you could get.
I think that's the commonality with psychologists. I mean, I believe they do it individually.
Yeah. One-on-one. Yeah.
You have this one-on-one sessions with this guy and this dude, la, whatever. So yeah. So this is I think the difference between coaching and psychologist, and this is why I love coaching.
Yeah.
Because it just this person is just full lights on my issue, and his only job is to help me.
Exactly.
Love it.
Great. All right. Thank you, Olaf.
Cool. What's up? Have a good one. Bye.
You too. Bye.